The Jeddah mediation talks aimed at bringing an end to the conflict in Sudan have been suspended indefinitely. The talks are being brokered by representatives from Saudi Arabia, the US and Africa. The decision was made after the two warring sides failed to implement confidence-building measures. CGTN's Joy Juma has more.
The fighting in Sudan between the armed forces and the paramilitary group known as the Rapid Support Forces has been raging since mid-April. Despite thousands of deaths, the displacement of millions, and a national economy on the brink of collapse, ceasefire efforts have been unsuccessful. The latest push for peace saw talks in the Saudi city of Jeddah, but they too have now been suspended. Saudi and American mediators did not clarify why exactly. Sources, however, say the negotiations faltered after the two parties failed to agree on the army's demand for the Rapid Support Forces to leave civilian areas and end military demonstrations on roads and in cities. Back to the drawing board, it seems, the negotiators now need to hold consultations with their respective leaderships on a new way forward. However, analysts believe the brokers need to be more creative with a possible solution.
I believe that the African Union, the Americans and the brothers in Saudi Arabia, which are hosting the negotiations, need a new vision in creating pressure mechanisms on the parties so that they are more serious about meeting the desires of the people and bringing about peace, because the continuation of this war in this way, without there being any pressure from the facilitators on the parties, will make them procrastinate from time to time.
The Forces of Freedom and Change was the ruling coalition in Sudan before General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan led a coup in October 2021. It has expressed its disappointment with the suspension of the talks.
The Sudanese throughout the Sudanese state were pinning their hopes on these negotiations or discussions to produce a cessation of hostilities, even if temporary, so that they could restore the sparkle that had disappeared from their lives again. But unfortunately, the national will was absent.
Observers of the situation in Sudan have accused both sides in the conflict of not being serious about reaching a peaceful solution through negotiations.
In our vision and analysis, the Jeddah platform was taken as a tactical step, meaning that it is an operation to numb the international community, numb citizens, and confirm that we are in negotiations, but the other party is stubborn, as is stated in the statements issued by both parties. The suspension of the Jeddah negotiations comes after the failure of the agreement to end military manifestations and build confidence.
Without a peace process in motion, many now fear that the conflict could escalate even further, especially in places like Khartoum, Darfur and Kordofan. Joy Juma, CGTN.